So there's income producing opportunities there for opportunity costs of where you can put your money. You can run your day-to-day life. You can pay bills in your business. You can pay off websites, recurring website fees, and subscription services, and all sorts of different things. So it's very important to understand, guys, that you need to understand not just that you have this as a tool to benefit inside the company, but how do you take this tool out there and make sure agents outside that you can develop conversations with know that we have it, the benefits of it, and that we're the only ones that have it. So now that we have this new eXp 2.0, what are we going to do with it? How are we going to use it to grow our business? What should we be focusing on right now? So first thing is what I would be doing for yourself and anybody in your organization is make sure everybody has a full understanding of what the 2.0 changes are and how they are in relationship to what we had before. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of these real quick. And the way that you guys find this is if you haven't figured out how to get your RevShare toolkit, put around a lot of different places. You can find it in Workplace, but the easiest way to get it is if you go to your my.exprealty.com back office. Once you click that, if you go to the top right, you'll see it. There's a tab that you can click on. It's got your entire Revenue Share toolkit. It's going to have all your different graphics such as this. It's going to have videos from Glenn in there. It's going to have other breakdowns and other ways that you guys can explain certain things as far as different parts of what we've just done here with RevShare 2.0. But let's quickly go through this, start talking about what's changed. Let's talk about what has not changed. So if you look at the left side, guys, so before eXp was on a 50-50 rev share split. So if you look right there at the top, the eXp rev share pool was 100%. The 1.0 version, if $1 million came in, $500,000 went left, $500,000 went right. So it was a 50% to eXp, 50% to the rev share pool for the agents to get dispersed across the 7-tier model for all the agents in the company. After the 2.0 launch, it's still the exact same thing. The rev share pools are the exact same. eXp doesn't take $1 more, $1 less, and the rev share pool is now $1 more, $1 less. All they're doing is they're changing the way the rev share pool is being messaged out there, giving us easier messaging. The big change right here, number one, is that they're making it a lot easier for you guys to open up your tiers. So let's take a look over on that right-hand one, the big graphic on the right. This was the probably most important reason I believe we changed this. So as you guys saw, we showed some numbers last week that showed how many agents were struggling to get to their 3rd and 4th and 5th tiers being open with the current model. Now, this wasn't going to be sustainable for agents to continue making money today and tomorrow and the type of income that they want to retire off of. So the reason why people are building RevShare alongside their production business is at some point, they don't want to have to sell anymore. And they don't want to have to be constantly attracting agents going forward just to keep their tiers open. And we all know what it's like to fall one short of a next tier. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to give you guys more of your money now so you could put more time into your business today. So they're giving agents their first 3 tiers open. This is huge because overnight, 100% of agents have all first 3 tiers open. And then when you think about just 5 FOQAs to open up the 4th tier, that is a very achievable today and long-term metric to hit. And then even for 10 on tier 5. Okay, so this is the biggest one, is that they've opened up easier access for you to reach your qualifying tiers. When you guys come into your my.exp, you just come up here, your top right tab. You should find this in Workplace as well. But they got a lot of really cool messaging here. So you guys saw Wendy Forsythe came in. She's incredible with what she's doing. But you got a little breakdown from Glenn here. You've got all your different graphics and charts and things like that. If you need to share something, different ways to explain different parts of what they're doing here. So if you guys haven't gone through this, I would just make a little note to go through this later, or you can save this somewhere on your computer, or you can just go in through the my.exp area. But I just want to show you guys how to access this. Now, the second big change, guys, and this is one that I personally think people should be really focusing on to use to engage conversations, but also use as far as creating social media content, because this pay now is something that I don't think people really understand as far as how big a deal it actually is. I mean, think about how many industries in the finance space and the banking world have been fighting over speed to money forever. Let's think about like why Elon Musk is even in existence, right? Because of PayPal. So everybody's out there trying to figure out how to get people their money faster, because if we have our money, what can we do with it? Well, we know we can do something with it when it's in our hands, but not in somebody else's hands, right? So all sorts of people can now, depending on the size of their rev share, take it out throughout the month. So you're going to avoid the cost of interest credit card payments if you need to pay down some credit cards instead of sitting and watching that money sit there all month. We were just talking about options being traded. And I was at eXpCon Canada, and we were talking about this, how many times over the past couple of years where I was going to get a decent amount of money coming in the next week or two, and there's a perfect option trade or a perfect play coming where I wanted to buy a stock that dipped or something like that, and I couldn't get to my money. So now you guys can take that out. Let's say you wanted to take $1,000 out and play an option. Now you're going to be able to do it. So there's income producing opportunities there for opportunity costs of where you can put your money. You can run your day-to-day life. You can pay bills in your business. You can pay off, websites, recurring website fees, and subscription services, and all sorts of different things. So it's very important to understand, guys, that you need to understand not just that you have this as a tool to benefit inside the company, but how do you take this tool out there and make sure agents outside that you can develop conversations with know that we have it, the benefits of it, and that we're the only ones that have it. That's the big blessing here, guys. Nobody else has this. And this is going to give you guys a unique tool to go out there in the marketplace and start conversations. So we're always just trying to change the approach angle. So anytime someone's rejecting us or not giving us the time to have a conversation to get into the talking points we want, what do we need to do? We need to change the approach angle, the different ways that we're trying to start the conversation, go above the door, around the door, under the door, through the door, however we're going to do it. We need to split test different approaches and different things. And so a lot of times, let's say someone's you talked to in the past and they're not talking to you right now or won't give you time to talk to them again, you need something as far as a different approach angle, which would be this right here. Now you can re-engage and start that conversation again. Okay, page right here. They're now incentivizing the top of the business growth again. So what they're doing is they move more of the money to the top side to incentivize people to go out there and attract agents. So what you guys can see is you can now have up to $4,000 per capping agent on that first year. So this is going to be a huge pay jump for you guys that are attracting agents that are out there building your front line. And also it's a big jump in pay for your agents that are attracting agents. So what do you think? Do you think that you had a bigger incentive to go out there and attract agents to the company or a smaller incentive as compared to 1.0 versus 2.0? So if we're getting paid more, do we work harder to go get it? And if we're going to do that, do we think our partners are going to go do it? So what they just did is they moved energy and activity to the top of the business. And then as people go out there and work harder for a bigger payment stream, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to have the result. And then as they start to achieve that result, they're going to want more of that result and winning streaks happen. So that's really what they're doing is they're helping agents reach a higher income to start their business instead of having a struggle to start their business and then saying, maybe this doesn't make sense. But now as agents come in, they're getting rewarded on that first year with a bigger capping agent payout. And then also, let's say you bring in a top, broker or someone like that, or an influencer that all of a sudden starts building a big second and third tier. But let's say before you didn't have the ability to open up those tiers. You're sitting there watching that big income stream disappear that would be changing your life or helping pay your bills, doing something that you need that, or you could be doing something you need that money for, but you couldn't reach it unless you went out there and qualified for it. Now what this means is if you have a business that starts off fast and runs off fast, you're going to get paid on it. So let's say you brought in John and John starts to build a big business on your second and third tier. You're going to get paid on this as compared to having to have that stress of having to go out there and rush around and try to force people to join you, right? That's where kind of that aggressive push was in the industry, I think, from a lot of people, which was people knew they needed to open their tiers. So they're trying to press people to move today, not because it's the best thing for their partner tomorrow, but it's the best thing for them as a personal business if they can get that person over in their business to qualify, if that makes sense. So now we don't have to push on people as much. We don't have to be so aggressive. We can have real conversations and really build that rapport and actually let real business relationships develop out, which is a good thing. Big change number 4. Now, some of you guys have this already in your back office. Not all of you guys do, but one of the other changes that they made is they're launching a new my.exprealty.com back office. And it is very advanced and very well broken down as far as how it's organized. And as far as the data and talking points that they're giving us, guys, they're giving us so much more data to run our businesses going forward. So they're in the beta test. Some of you guys are in it, but they will be launching this year soon. So what's in there? All sorts of different talking points and data points. It shows how many houses your organization sold. It shows conversion rates of how many people per, how many houses are being sold per agent counts and things like that. It tracks how many team leaders you guys have. So congrats, by the way. But this is what you guys can track in the back office when they launch it. You're going to be able to track how many houses your organization sold, how many people are on teams, also how many people are running traditional teams, registered teams. So there's almost 150 team leaders inside the Wolfpack organization. It tracks all your icon agents. It's really powerful what they're about to release for you guys, but they're just getting the last little kinks out in beta test, but this should be launching here anytime soon as well. And so really what's going on here, guys, if you want to think about what they've been doing since 2021, we've kind of had this aggressive slide as they started dropping interest rates. This has not been a fun run for anybody, but every company was starting out going into the recession. How do we navigate through the recession? That was kind of the front side of the downside. So that's reverse U representing kind of coming down to the front side of the market cycle, bottoming out, coming out the backside. So all companies were trying to figure out how to navigate the storm the best they could. Now where we're at is kind of most people are thinking that we're somewhere in the bottom. We're either on the bottom left, bottom right, right there in the bottom. But what companies are now doing is they're trying to capitalize on the swing out of the bottom side of the market cycle and gain momentum for the next 7-10 year hopeful run that we have, right? And building this out behind the scenes, this wasn't just randomly launched. They've been bringing in some of the biggest and best consultants. Believe it or not, guys, some guys that read Building an Empire. They had Brian Carruthers come in to help work on some of this stuff as a consultant. They had Eric Worre. So they've now just kind of been tiptoeing around this. This has been a very long, thought out, strategically planned launching process. They brought in some of the biggest names in the industry. You guys now see Leo Perea as the CEO of the company. So it's really quite incredible that they've been that they did this and that they're doing it right now in expectation of time to bottom the market to come out with mass momentum is really what they're doing.